Hi, feminine girls. I wonder, if you were in an empty room, would you talk to yourself? If I was in a room all by myself, I would probably be talking to the Lord and a little bit to myself. I wonder how many of you would do the same. And how many of you are loquacious? Please type in the comments below if you're a loquacious person. I ask these questions because I'm wondering how many of us hear the voice of the Lord clearly 100% of the time, every single day. And how many of us mix voices of our own, the Lord's, and Satan's? How many of us cannot discern between all three? Well, if you have that issue, and if you want to have more clarity about the Lord who speaks every day to us, the Holy Spirit is guiding us each day to make right decisions for our lives, then I have a solution for you. You know, when I was in the city, I did this experiment and I fasted from speaking for a day. And because I lived in a very saturated building, there were over 200 units in this building, yet about 70 to 75% occupancy. So not only did I live in a building that I knew everyone, but I lived on a busy, popular street that you'd see people all the time, and I would meet new people as well. Not to offend anyone, I had a sign much like this that explained my experiment that I was fasting for the day. And I would try to communicate with them with body language if they needed to talk to me. And let me tell you, the responses were mixed. After reading my notes, some people were like, oh, as if something had happened. Other people were like, oh, okay. And still others, they had small talk with me, but I responded in body language like thumbs up for I'm doing good. And some of them still greeted me with small talk like how are you doing or enjoying the day. So I would nod my head or use body signals to express myself to them. So it was interesting. Now, why I did this was, one, to distinguish between voices and to see if I could discern more with my mind instead of my lips. And I wanted the goal of hearing the Lord's voice much clearer, much better. And let me tell you, once I finished this experiment, it was as if I could think clearer, I could hear the voice of the Lord even clearer, and I was able to distinguish between my own thoughts. So it was very useful and very helpful in my walk with the Lord to listen more than speaking, because most people are interested in what they're going to say next and what they want to say, and they focus on that and they hold that until they have an opportunity, a silent space to speak. But since this opportunity was taken from me for that day, I was more focused on attentively listening to not only other people, but my surroundings. Your observation, your keenness also gets more heightened. Now, I hope those reasons have convinced you to try this experiment as well. And this is interesting. It's possible to do it even in your own house. I know some of you may be thinking, well, I have a roommate, well, I have a family, well, I have a husband, etc. I have children. I did this when I was married. And let me tell you, it just increases the bond between the people you're living with, to communicate them with your body and with your facial expressions, as opposed to searching for some word out there. Now, I know there's a plethora of words, there's a vast majority of words untouched by most English speakers. The average person speaks a number of words in their vocabulary on a consistent basis. And so I know there's a lot of untapped words we usually don't use. Your creativity in expressing yourself in words can be limitless, but I am talking about not relying on just words, because a study was done that more people concentrate on your body language and your tone of voice as opposed to the words that you're using. So this will help you become an effective communicator as well, because you're not just throwing out words. Your body is actually matching and harmonizing with what you want to express and how you feel. And so it is possible to do this experiment even if you're living with a roommate or family or husband and kids. Now, I've shared this experiment in my Feminine Rhythm book, and I would like to read you a few lines. Spend a day not speaking a word. You may use body language, nonverbal responses, facial expressions, and hand gestures to communicate. Write a legible note briefly explaining this experiment so you won't offend anyone. Show it to them when spoken to. Record and reflect on your experience, how it felt, what you gained, or any ideas you received. After doing these 3 things, this was the 3rd thing that I suggested one do to reconnect the rhythm with the Lord. Either on separate days or all simultaneously on one, you may now continue all the activities in the rest of this book. Now, why would you want to do this experiment? Well, to hear the voice of the Lord clearer. You will get direction that will save you from pain, that will gain you opportunities, that will walk you into your purpose and prevent making wrong decisions that you have to go back and fix and change and remedy. So, if you plan on doing this experiment, please share it with me in the comments below and come back and let me know how you did. Bye.